In this video today, we're going to be taking this MST RMX and we're going to be trying out these Racing QUTUS damper set to see if we can improve the handling of this drift car. Hello everyone, my name is Troy, this is Roadside RC. On this channel, we will see everything from bashing and drifting and crawling and racing, plus product review videos and how-tos. And on the workbench today, Racing QUTUS shocks being installed, being assembled, and then being installed on this MST RMX. There's a lot of shocks that you can choose out there for your drift car. This one is an MST RMX. It has some level of aftermarket shocks on it already, but honestly, they're not in good shape. I've previously put a set of the MST TR60s on a different drift car that I previously owned. Really good shock, but man, these Racing shocks are so cheap. I'll provide a link down in the description below. They're so cheap that it's really hard to pass them by and not give them a shot. One of the guys at the local drift track is already using them, said he really liked them. So today I'm going to show you how we're going to assemble these, what we're going to use to assemble them, install them on the drift car, and give them a first test. Right away with this kit, we see something that's really nice. So these are the pistons that you will receive typically for shocks, and you can see there's a 2-hole, a 3-hole, and a 4-hole. Usually for drift, I'm going with the 4-hole, maybe even drilling some extra holes. Really want to be able to pump some fluid through the shock, make it work really smoothly. But look at all this. All right, so what this is actually an adjustable piston. Okay, and so what you can do is by stacking these two parts of the piston, you can actually make it a 2, 3, or 4-hole piston. It ends up being basically the same thickness as this piston, so you're not getting any extra resistance or wall stiffness or anything along those lines. But just with that, you get to improve or change the tuning of your shock just that easy. So we're going to be using these. I will be doing it with the 4-piston hole as a starting spot. First steps, and this is going to be hard to see, is a E-clip on in the shock. Metal spacer goes on. I then have my adjustable spacer, I don't know if you can see this in the video or not, to set to 4 holes, 4 open holes. That goes on. The next step is assembling the bottom of these shock bodies. We take this larger O-ring and we actually place it inside the shock spring adjuster here. Once you get those all the way in, a small screwdriver here may help a lot. Basically, this isn't a super necessary step. There you go. You see that's all the way in there now. That just helps keep the this from vibrating and changing position. So we're going to do that in all the places. The other thing that we're going to do is we take this shock body and we take the supplied shock oil, which is a 300 CST. We're going to place just a little bit of oil down here in the bottom of this. We place the blue O-ring that's provided. We put in this rod guide, and we're going to put it bump side up, and then this screws on. Right like that. We're going to make sure that that center bump comes right through. Okay, that provides the leak-free seal that we'll have at the bottom of that shock. With these all assembled, we now have our rod end here, our piston and rod, and so what we're going to do, we're going to oil that up just a little bit, and we are going to slide it into that shock. We are then going to install our shock rod ends, and what you'll find is this is where your shock rod end pliers, like these from Dynamite, come in handy so that you don't scrape up your brand new shock shafts. So they have specific areas there that you can use to hold the shock shaft, the shock rod, securely without scratching it, while you then tighten this up. Now I'm going to purposely not tighten it at all because these are 55mm dampers and I'm a little bit nervous that that might be short, and so I am going to use my scale, and I'm going to measure somewhere here a couple millimeters of threads left, and that's where I'm going to screw all of mine into. With this all installed, you now are going to fill up the shock with oil, and as you get it near the top, you're going to pump the piston to try to get all the air out of it. And woo, it's going to get some air out of there at first, and it's going to create a lot of bubbles. So we're going to pump it a number of times here, probably about 10, 12 times we're going to pump it. And I'm actually spinning the piston a little bit as I do it, trying to make sure I get all the air out. And you're not going to be able to see it on camera, but there's a bunch of bubbles that come up as you do this. And then I am going to let that sit here in my shock tray and let all those bubbles dissipate. Now as these have all the bubbles coming out of them, you can pump them a couple more times. You can feel how that shock is going to feel, how smooth it's going to work, what kind of resistance you have to it moving. And I'll be honest, I'm not exactly happy with what I'm feeling. The holes that are in those those pistons, a little bit too small with this 300 weight oil. So if you're building these, I'm going to suggest you do one of two things. You either reduce the weight of the oil, so this comes with 300 CST, so you either go down from there. It actually suggests in the manual, it says something about you can fill it up with anything from, I think it was like 180 to 300, 100 to 300, sorry. And I would definitely recommend going lower than that. Or the other thing that you can do is you can actually just drill out the piston holes and make them a little bit bigger. And I'm really tempted to dump this fluid out and do that, because man, it just feels like there's too much resistance for what we want with the drift car. What I did here is I took a 16th inch drill bit and I went in and I did 3 of the 4 holes. Well, I did 1, tested it, 2, tested it, 3, tested it, and 3 gives me about the resistance that I feel is appropriate. And so we went with 3 holes in there, 3 enlarged 16th inch holes, just enlarging the holes that were already in those adjustable pistons in order to get a little bit better performance. For the final assembly, I'm going to set this exposed piece to about 10 millimeters. Now, how much you leave exposed is the pistons, we're going to call it the natural state. And so if you leave it all the way out here at about 15 where it normally is, it wants to come back to that fully extended state. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot for about 10 and we're going to try it there. With that, and with the oil completely topped off, we're going to slide this piston diaphragm in so that it doesn't get any oil, doesn't get any air underneath it. We did pop just a little bit of oil out, which is fine. We're going to set that cap there, and then we're going to screw on our retainer up here. Now this does not need to be monster tight. We're just squeezing that gasket down. And then we have that shock. With that there, I'm going with the softer of the 2 springs that come in the kit. I'm going to go with the softer spring. Well, you can see here on the spring retainer, one side is completely curved, one side has a little bit of a lip. So you're going to install this in here on this direction, slide it all the way down, and then you have an assembled spring. One other thing that ends up happening here is these ball ends for the Racing shocks are larger than the shocks that came on this vehicle in. Fortunately, Racing actually provides you both with the screw-in stud type and the nut type so that you can adapt over to these shocks. So what I've had to do here on the front is swap over those top and rear, and I'll have to do the same thing on the rear as I add these shocks in. Look at that, car is back down on the ground. On the front here, I ended up setting about 9-10 millimeters down the shock collar. It is a little bit soft still, I think. It can bottom out. Also, it wants to sit down pretty low, which is good. It gives me room for upward mobility in order to raise that front and transfer the weight to the rear, so that is good. That's what I'm looking for. And it has a decent amount of travel. On the rear, I'm at, I believe it's 6 millimeters, 5 to 6 millimeters of gap here. And again, looking pretty good, nice rebound, maybe just a little bit stiff, but overall feeling pretty good. Let's give this thing a test drive. Okay, what are my thoughts on these Yaw Racing QUTUS dampers? Honestly, for the price, they're really, really good. Just like with any other drift shock though, you're gonna end up wanting to tune the suspension and the shocks and the spring rates exactly to your vehicle. I think on a lighter vehicle than the RMX, the installed springs that come with it, the lighter weight springs that come with it, are probably gonna be perfect. I feel as if the stiff springs that come with it are almost too stiff for this car. So they're really meant for something a little bit heavier. So I'd probably pick up something like the RWD spring kit that has, or some of the MST spring kits that have a variety of spring rates in them in order to tune this a little bit more from where it is now. I feel like I have, with drilling the extra holes in the pistons, I have the dampers set and the pistons set to where it could really move freely. The spring is still just not quite the right rate for the car though, but it's a drastic improvement to where we started. So hey, I'm gonna work on some other videos related to drift, related to crawling, all the bashing, all the other stuff. In the meantime, please come over here and check out some of the other videos that I've already made. I appreciate all the support that you give to the channel. I hope this look at the Yaw Racing QUTUS shocks were good for you and helpful in making your decision as to what shocks you were gonna purchase for your car. In the meantime, I'm gonna go work on some other stuff. Thank you for all your support, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.